Hello everyone, welcome back to Pushing Horizon podcast. There is a kind of exhaustion that doesn't go away with sleep. It lives in your bones, in your breath, and in the way your body moves through a world that was never built for you. This episode isn't about easy answers or polished stories with clean endings. It's about grit, about fire, about choosing to show up even when everything in you says stop. Erin doesn't run for medals. She runs because it's survival, because it's resistance, because it's the one place she can breathe without apology. Today, she talks about what it means to hold a race, love in the same damn body, to move through systems meant to break her, and to stand still, bruised, blistered, and fucking brave. This is not your feel good episode. This is the truth, raw and unfiltered. This is Erin. Hey Erin, welcome to the Pushing Horizons podcast. I'm really glad you're here. We had some fun conversations before the recording, so
We did.
yeah,
Thank you for
your
having
time.
me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been fun so far.
It has. I'm a fun person. What can I say?
I can
tend to
agree
laugh a
that.
lot. I laugh a lot, Ash.
We had a genuinely nice conversation before the recording. I was thinking, I wish I had pressed recording, then I could have recorded all of that because it was really fun conversation.
It was fun. It was fun. But we can talk about it again. It's absolutely fine.
I know you and I've been following you for a while, but some of the guests might know you, but some of them may not. So can you please give a quick introduction about you?
Absolutely. I'm Erin or Erin. All right, that's my best German accent. Okay, I'm sorry. Not really sorry, but I'm Erin. And I go by This Mama Runs on Instagram. So that's how people would probably know me. I've been running for, I started running in 2020. So what's that, 5 years? Is it? Yeah, 25. So yeah, 5 years. And just over the course of year, especially is when I kind of got into ultra running, and that's when my ultra running journey really took off. I started off running how any sane person, let's say, would run, couch to 5k. So I don't know if people in Germany would know it's couch to 5k. So you start gradually build up your 5k distance, and then that's how I got into it. I done it as a New Year's resolution to see if I could, because again, if people haven't been following, I used to be, put it on the larger side. So I had lost a lot of weight and I'd done couch to 5k to see if I could do it. And I did it. Then obviously it progressed into 10Ks. 10Ks progressed into half marathons. And it's like I said to you, Ash, just before, I've ran 5Ks, I've ran 10Ks, I've ran half marathons, I've ran ultra distant marathons, but I've never ran a road marathon or an actual marathon race. So over the last year, I got into ultra marathons, and I am.
For you also, it escalated fast because from 5 to 10, yeah. For everybody else, it's the same story.
It is the same. I blame my coach though. I give that poor man so much shit on Instagram. It's not even funny, but it's his fault that I got into, God bless his heart, it's his fault that I got into ultra marathons. Not last year, but the year before. So what are we in now? 25. So 2023, I ran my first backyard ultra, and I think I got 70 kilometers on that. For anybody that doesn't know what a backyard ultra is, it's loops. You run loops and you go out every hour on the hour. He went in and he entered this backyard ultra and told me about it, and I was like, ooh, okay, I possibly, maybe not. Fuck it, I'll do it. And I just signed on. So he's the reason that I got into ultra marathons. Blame him wholeheartedly.
Yeah, or take him as an inspiration. So that was gonna be the first question. I guess you can blame your coach for the ultra marathons, like how we get into the ultra marathons.
Yeah, he is. I blame him. He's a little shit.
But like, what was the reason you first started into run?
Like I say, to see if I could do it. I had lost all this weight and I was trying so hard to lose it. I mean, a whole different story. I am someone who will constantly struggle with their weight and have done and will continue to do. But I deal with, like I say, that's a different story. So I had lost all this weight, and 2020, it was a New Year's resolution. I wanted to see if I could do it, and I did it. And it took discipline and it took consistency. And with those two things, those are the two kind of building blocks for me. They have stuck with me. They have spilled over into other aspects of my life as well. I hated it. I hated doing that couch to 5k, but there was something in me that wanted to see that I could actually run 5k. It was a case of this plan, sticking to this plan, and then seeing the benefits of it. So it was a case of, would say, run a minute, walk for 30 seconds, run a minute, walk for 30 seconds, and you would just continue to build upon that over time. And 8 weeks later, I was supposed to be able to run a solid 5k, and 8 weeks later, I was running a solid 5K.
Nice.
So clearly something worked. Yeah. And I always thought if I got to the 5K mark, I proved to myself that I could do it. I proved it. And I thought, get to the 5K mark. I'll be happy at the 5K mark. I don't want to do anything more. Why? And
No.
there's always that little voice in your head saying, okay, we've got to the 5K mark. Now I'm a terrible self-doubter. I always doubt myself. But I got to the 5K mark and then I was like, all right, okay. So maybe Erin, we can push it to 6K. And it just, you know yourself, Ash, it just progresses and it creeps in. And then I got told, well, if you can run a 5K, you can run a 10K. Just
10K.
try it and see. Yeah, it progressed.
And then it escalated at some point.
Oh, it escalated.
Yeah, for all of us, I think everybody, we all have the same story.
Exactly. There's always a backstory. And I think that's the most interesting. That to me is why, Ash, let me turn the question on you. Well, how did you get into running?
Mine is funny because I used to play ultimate frisbee.
Oh, frisbee, no way.
Yeah.
What does ultimate frisbee? That's amazing.
Do you know what ultimate frisbee is?
I'm like ultimate frisbee, you're throwing a frisbee, but are you doing it like frisbee?
No, it is like you play 7 versus 7. There is an offense and a defense, and you play in a length of a football field. So you cannot catch and run. Either you have to throw it long or catch it. So you have to either defend it, you have to sprint a lot. I'll send you a link. It's really fun and competitive sport. I am a very competitive person. I was really big, but then I went to the gym and then I fell in love with the sport.
Yeah.
And I was really good at it too.
Yeah.
I really like to play it. When I was playing one of the league games, being this competitive person, I dove for the disc and I tore, like something happened with my shoulder then.
Okay.
And being this stupid mindset, I continued the game because the adrenaline is so high and I'm so excited. And it was like a semi-final. I was like, I'm not going to miss it out. I played the game and we won. The game was done and I was like walking off and then I can feel the stiffness.
Yeah.
And I got into the car and I was trying to put my seat belt and you have to turn and I cannot turn. I cannot turn.
No.
I cannot look my blind side. I cannot do anything. Somehow I got home without checking my blind side. I got home and then I slept. I couldn't even shower. I just slept like that.
Yeah.
The next day I woke up and went to the ER. They said I had a tear on my shoulders and I was like, okay, so that is it. I cannot play. And I have not played ever since because I fell in love with running after that. And that's how I got started because I needed to do something. I have ADHD and I needed to do something. And I never thought that I would love running because I always hated it.
Yeah.
I was okay sprinting during the match and I was like happy beating other person while I was going for the disc. I was completely okay with that. I used to sprint hour, 2 hour, like I was fine, like dying there in the field. But if you ask me to run 5K, then I was like, nope, that's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna
happen. Then I loved it being this competitive person. There used to be this Facebook group and everybody was putting in their mileage, like what they're doing. And for the first 3 months, from maybe 30 miles while playing the ultimate frisbee, I started doing over 100 miles and I kept running harder and all the runs were progressive because I didn't know anything. That's the fun. That was my peak and that's how I got into it. And then I got hooked and I had so many injuries because I didn't take care of my body, my leg, because you have to do strength training. And while I was playing ultimate, all I did was box jumps because I needed to jump higher for the vertical. So I needed that. I was like, yeah, okay. I learned big lessons like stress fracture, ITB, metatarsal, knee pain, hip glute. What injuries do I don't have? I think that's the question.
Very love that. But it's insane. Like we think, oh, let's go for a run. When we get into it, there's so much more. It's so involved. We don't realize the impact that running actually has on the body. It's time consuming to begin with, but it's physically consuming. And especially when you want to push your PBs and you want to better person than you were yesterday. And that to me translates, okay, well, I have to go faster, I have to go further, and I have to go harder. But then everything that comes in on top of it, your strength training, stretching. Oh my God, shoot me now, stretching.
Nobody does it.
Nobody does it, but we should do it because it's so good for us. But yeah, we don't realize just the whole other aspect of running. It's not just a case of putting your trainers on and going out. But sometimes that's what we need though, Ash. Sometimes we just need to put our trainers on and just go out. That's where the joy of running is, I think, anyway. And when you get involved in big, hard training blocks for marathons, for a speedy 5K or a speedy 10K, speedy half marathon, or if you want to run your 3-hour marathon PB, you know, we become so focused and so invested on it, and we about the joy of running. And I know I certainly have lost the joy of running running over the last little while. I hasten to add, when I say that joy is starting to slowly come back. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I know that feeling because when I started running, I used to do like a double challenges. It used to be like a 2 mile and then 10K, like back to back, and 5K and then 10K back to back. And I was stupid.
No, not stupid. Pushing the boundaries, because we're all a little bit stupid. If you're a bit stupid, then Ash, we're all a bit stupid. Let's face it, we all do. Everyone that does this kind of sport or a sport of some description, we're all a bit stupid. We all like to push. We all like to do it. We're all stupid.
Maybe not stupid, maybe crazy. I was crazy.
Yes, crazy.
I still remember those days, and it was like, God, I don't do that anymore. So now just one thing at a time.
Sometimes that's the best way. Just take it one at a time, for sure.
You said your first ultra was the backyard, right?
Yeah.
You went and did 7 loops. That means you did 70 kilometers. And it's a big distance. Did you have any doubts before? Because I don't know. What was your longest distance before that?
My longest distance before that was a half marathon.
What?
It was 13 miles. My longest distance was a half marathon.
So you went from a half marathon to 21 kilometers to 70 kilometers.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. You obviously had doubts going to this.
Oh, massive doubts, Ash. Like I said, a massive self-doubter. I doubt myself, especially when it comes to running. I always doubt myself on it. Maybe is it a case that I think I'm not good enough to do something like this? I work in dentistry, so we get patients that come in and you just get chatting to patients about different things. And one day I got talking to a patient, running came up. We're runners, Ash. It always gets dropped into conversation, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
I was telling this patient that I love to run big distances. I enjoy ultramarathons. And he turned to me and he said, "Oh, well, you don't look the type." And I was like,
What?
"Oh, whatever. All right. Okay. So would you mind explaining what the type would look like, or what you think the type looks like?"
Ignorant people.
Oh God. But I like that because, all right, I don't look the type. Well, but again, what does a type of ultra runner look like? So I doubt myself on it, because I do sometimes think, am I the type to do that? Am I good enough to do that? Could I possibly do that? Well, God almighty, yeah. Anybody can do it. Hell, if I can do it, anybody can do it. It comes down to your want for it. It comes down to your mindset. And we touched upon it just before we started recording. I'll be doing a 50-mile. I haven't spoke about it much on Instagram, but I'm doing a 50-mile race in 6 weeks' time. Now, I done 100 kilometers last year. That was very different to the 50-mile race that I'm doing now, because the 50-mile race that I'm doing in May has got a 13-hour cutoff, whereas the 100 kilometers, I think it was a 24-hour cutoff. So there was that. I had a big time difference to play with. So yeah, I'm doubting myself on this one for sure. I don't know if I'm going to do it. And again, I've come off the back of running Arc of Attrition in January and DNFing on that. So that in my head is very much sitting at the forefront. And that was my first DNF. And so yeah, I'm doubting whether I'll be able to do it or not. But hell, I'll go into it. I'll give it my best shot. What will be, will be. I am going to go into it with zero expectations on myself, because in January I put a lot of pressure on myself. I got ill before I done the race in January, and I went into the race in January injured as well. And I probably shouldn't have been standing on that start line, but I did, because I wasn't ever not going to stand on the start line. But this will be one of the biggest races that I've done this far. I done the lap last year and it was 47 miles with a shit ton of elevation. So this one is 50 miles, the one that I'm doing in May. Not as much elevation. So I'm kind of hoping it's going to be a case of finish lines and not finish times for me in May, but it's going to be a case of going in, gritting my teeth and just seeing if I can. And there is self-doubt there, of course there is, but everybody doubts themselves.
Yes, we do that, but we can only do our best.
Absolutely.
In that day. Yeah. It doesn't.
100%.
I've learned that when I did the half marathon last week, when I woke up, the next day I was not feeling it. And when I woke up, I was like feeling ill and I took ibuprofen.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what happens the day before or how much training you have done or whatever, because sometimes it just comes down to that day and how you are feeling it. If you're not injured and stuff like that, because if you're injured then you're screwed. I went to put my bag and I ran like 100 meters and my knees were hurting and I was like, oh my God.
Going on.
And I told my friend, bro, I don't think I can PR it. I told him I was going to see how I feel. I'm just going to give it a try, because I know I was not ready for a PR, because I only trained for 6 weeks. I did not have anything in me. So I was like, I'm just going to run. Our mind is such a huge factor when we do these races, and no matter what the distances we do, we put in training and effort, everything, but sometimes it just just how our mind plays trick, because at the beginning my mind was so determined to get that PR. So I was hitting the time perfectly, even though it was a wrong PR, right? I did the calculation wrong. I was hitting the speed, what I needed to do it. And then there was 6 kilometers left, and I calculated 6 into 6 is 36. That puts me into right PR. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try 1 more kilometer, and I'm gonna wait until I'm 16. So then there's like 5 kilometers less, and it's 30 minutes. And I calculated it's okay, it is under my PR time now, so I can
Yeah.
relax. And then the mind that was so determined the kilometer before, after that it just like totally gives up. I learned that sometimes even though you feel you're not ready or you're not prepared, you just surprise yourself, and in some race when you are so prepared and everything, and then it just doesn't go as what you planned, like in most
Exactly.
of the races. I believe you will do it. I understand
Thank you.
the self-doubt and everything that you're going through, because we all have that. It
We
just-
all go through it. Absolutely. We all go
but you're putting your time, and that will show up in the day. Don't self-doubt yourself, you'll cross it. I
Thank you,
believe in you.
Ash.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
thank
believe in
you. Yeah, we'll see. Well, I would like to think that I've been hitting my training well. I've only really started my training because, like I say, the race that I DNF'd in January, it hit me hard. It knocked me out. And it didn't just physically knock me out, mentally knocked me out. And, when you talk to people that don't do a sport like that, you try to verbalize that, you went into something and you didn't finish it, and they're like, but it's so fine, it's fine. And it is fine. It is fine. But for me, and I can only speak for myself, getting ill, going into it injured, but the amount of time, the amount of energy, the amount of bitching that my poor coach had to listen to with me during my training block, there is a level of uncertainty because you want to do it and you want to finish that or cross that finish line and you want that medal. But it's not just the medal, it's the fact that you've put all that time and that energy in and you weren't able to complete it. And the annoying thing, that's what really, really got me. It was time and energy. Two of the biggest things that we take so much for granted, that you invest so much in a training block just for a race, because it's just a race, but it's not just a race either. Not when you take it and it's in your, this is going to sound so whack, but it's in your heart and you want it so badly. So yeah, I lost a lot of my love for running over the last couple of months because of that. I didn't finish that race, and it hit me hard. So May will be, hopefully, fingers crossed, fingers crossed, toes crossed, eyes crossed, everything's crossed. Yeah, we'll take it as it comes and see how it goes.
Yeah, I know that is a very difficult moment for you, right?
Oh God.
When you couldn't finish the line, the time and the effort you put in, and then the disheartening because you really wanted to do it, and I can totally relate to it because I have not done ultras, but I have
not yet,
gone
you
into
haven't.
the races. Yeah.
Not
but
yet,
I've got
Ash.
it, not yet. Yeah, yet I have not done it yet, but I have gone into races where I've given it all, and I was okay. I'm gonna go and nail this, and then like you with the injuries and sickness and everything, and it's just so disheartening. So at that moment when you knew that you were not going to finish it, how did you felt? Sorry to bring this up.
No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I can pinpoint the minute that I knew that I wasn't going to do it. So there was, on the course, there is a little cut-off that we didn't get told about. I knew that there was this cut-off because I had recently been out with the race director of the race. I knew that they had this cut-off in this certain area. I kept checking my watch and trying to get my timings right, but my head was not with me because I was so focused on the pain in my calf. I had been taking paracetamol to try and knock the pain out, but it was just before I was like heading up the steps to the unofficial checkout, or the checkout. I had checked out the unofficial cutoff. I remember stopping with my poles in my hand, putting my hands on my head like that, holding on to my poles in the middle of Cornwall, and I cried like a baby because I knew I wasn't going to be let past to go on to the next official checkpoint. So it was a kick in the teeth. It was a punch in the stomach, and it is what it is. Bitter about it at all. But with that being said, I mean, the race will always be there. I haven't mentioned this, so this is the first time I'm mentioning this. I have booked back on for that race next year, and this is the only time that I'm going to mention it because of the pressure that I had put such an insurmountable amount of pressure on myself to complete this race. This race meant everything to me, and to not complete it. So the race will be there for me next year. I will go back next year, hopefully in better condition, and I will give it another shot, and we'll just have to see how it goes. I won't put as much pressure on myself next year as I did this year.
And also the experience that you felt is gonna help a lot because you have been there. you have done it and you know how it feels. And also you feel that, let's say, it's, I would not call it a defeat, but you felt that moment where you were not able to do it. That's gonna fuel you next time.
Oh
And
God,
like there's a saying that from the ashes rises a phoenix.
from the ashes rises a
It
phoenix.
is a
Yeah,
phoenix,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's a
So
quote.
yeah, so I
Yeah.
think that's gonna be you. So
Yeah.
when you do it next time, I think you're going to nail it.
Thank you. I hope so. I hope
Yeah.
so. But I
I
mean,
believe in you. And then positive manifestation. That's what I learned from my sister-in-law is I know there will be self-doubt, but those try to like manifest this positive energy.
absolutely. My
Yeah.
glass is always half full. My glass is always half full. Doesn't matter what. It's the same for everybody. I mean, we all self doubt, don't we? So it is a case of positive talk. I mean, I do firmly believe speaking positively. And I am very much a what will be, will be. Like I said, I'm not thinking too much about it because this time last year that I had booked for that race and everything kind of started centering around that race. My training, every race I had done was a lead up to that particular race. But that's not the case. It's not the case this year. I need to find a love for running again. And just recently finishing that 50K that I had done back in March, you know, that was my first proper race off the back of DNFing on that race. So to be able to finish that 50K was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And I had went into that 50K race in March with no specific training because it sounds crazy. I was hurting, emotionally hurting that, and I know that sounds crazy, but I was emotionally hurting that I didn't complete that race. But finishing that 50K race, it was a boost. It was an absolute boost that I was still able to do hard things because running ultras isn't easy. Running, you're on your feet for 6-7 hours to run 50K. You're taking in a shit ton of elevation. So you're putting that strain and that pressure on your body. So to be able to finish that 50K was give me a boost. And I'm going to go into this 50 miler off the back of the 50K because I'm back in this training block now. I love a good training block. I think I enjoy the training. You get the vibes of the race and everything, but it's the structure of the training and knowing what you're going to be doing that day. I love it when my coach sets out my training plan and I can go on my app and have a look and think, right, okay, I'm doing that one today. Over the last little while, I've been hitting my training and now I love to bitch about my coach online. I really do. I love to call him a bastard. And Colin, I'm sorry if you're listening to this. I don't apologize, but he's absolutely fantastic. And dear God, like I said, he's the reason I got into ultras. Yeah, he sets out my training and he checks in with me. And I do love the structure of the training plan. So this 50 miles it'll be a fun one. I need to make it a fun run. It's like we were saying, Ash, when you become so bogged down in a training plan, you kind of lose the love for running and you lose the want for running. It kind of becomes a chore, and running should not be that because this is something that we get to do and we choose to do, and we're so fortunate we're healthy to do it. We should be thankful and grateful and that our bodies are able to perform to the levels that we push them through. Whether that be you running your speedy 5K or your speedy 10K or going in for a 50-mile ultramarathon, we get to do it. We choose to do that. We choose to push ourselves through that just to see if we can. And I think that's amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing. We're lucky. We're very lucky.
Yes, we were definitely lucky. And I do feel grateful that I can run. But like you said, I also feel some of sentiment because I know how it feels. And I felt the same way. And I was on track until 30 kilometers. I was gonna do my goal, and then the injury that I had 2 weeks before, and then the sickness, everything, and then the cramp, the worst rolled knots I've ever had in my calves. I have never had that much pain before, and it sucks because you put so much energy. And I've been training for Berlin Marathon since April, and it was 6 months of constant training, waking up every Monday, like going and 15-16 kilometers, running hard, and you put so much time, effort trying to get that goal, and it just sucks because I mean I know that you don't have control over things, and when it doesn't work out, then I was literally sad. I was talking to my girlfriend and she knew like I was really down because it's not fun anymore, and I didn't want to run, and I still struggle because last week I was running and then I was complaining all the time. We went for a 15K and I was constantly like, I hate this because like you, I don't have that. And I'm also trying to not put too much pressure, but running marathon itself is a pressure for me because you always want to run faster, right? And I was like, maybe this is not for me to do it. Maybe I need to find that love and joy where I can enjoy it and enjoy
Yeah.
the journey and enjoy the moment rather than getting like bottled up on this time battle
Yeah.
where you constantly trying to find this. And the Berlin will be probably my last marathon because you have to put in for it. When I started running, I wanted Boston. That was my
Yeah.
goal. But seeing like how much disheartening it is, that it just, I don't think I want to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Berlin will be the last marathon I'll ever do, and maybe I'll start doing ultras after that.
Yeah, you will. You come to the UK and do a few ultras.
Yes,
It's like you say, Ash, running shouldn't be a chore. And we should love it. We should love it because we get to do it. It's hard. It is hard. And it's always that fine balance of wanting to be better and wanting to push yourself to see if you can do it and putting that pressure on yourself, but trying to keep the love for it as well. So yeah,
sometimes there is a fine line between that, right? Being
not
a
completely.
competitive, and yeah, there is a fine line, and sometimes it gets blurred because, like we're talking about the social media earlier on, and how it is all happy and sunshine only, you know.
Exactly.
There's nobody talks about struggle, but all of us are struggling, you know. All of us
Yeah.
are struggling, and we all have so many lows. And
Yeah.
some people talk about it, but some people just don't. They only post, "Oh, I did this, this, this," but there is
Yeah.
so many other negative things. There is so many failures before
Yeah.
you can get on a top, you know. So
Yeah.
that is also one of the thing is like everybody is just happy, and nobody wants to talk about that low moment because the trend and the society we are in at this moment.
Exactly. And I find that on Instagram. Instagram's a great tool. Instagram is a great tool. And I started my Instagram up as a way of keeping me accountable to myself. So I always said that I'm going to keep my Instagram as real as I possibly can. I'll post the highs, I'll post the lows. If you don't want to know about it, don't follow me. It's really quite that simple. I don't post on Instagram for any other reason than myself. I love posting on it. I don't take myself seriously on Instagram. I do take my training seriously because I want to be the best that I can, or if I'm going to go into a race, I want to go into it the best I can. Instagram is great. We only see the positives, and I think it's important that we share the negatives because it's not all rainbows and sunshines. It's really not. Who the hell wants to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning in the piss and rain and go out and run an easy hour? Nobody wants to do that, but we do it. But you don't see that side. That's the raw side. That's where the magic happens, in my opinion. But it's wonderful to see. No, don't take away from anything. Of course, post your Medal Monday, but Instagram is such a comparison tool as well. You look at Instagram and you will compare yourself to who's out there running 5 marathons. I could go on now, and whilst I'm in the middle of my training block for a 50 mile, I could look at someone who has just ran their 3rd marathon this year and go, oh shit, well, this person's run their 3rd marathon. Why am I not doing enough? Am I not doing enough? Oh God, maybe I need to do a wee bit more. But I won't do that. I won't ever compare my journey to someone else's journey because they're on a completely separate journey for themselves to what I'm on. But then again, it's like you say, that's the society we live in. And that's crazy. People in the community post and they post for likes. And if that's what they want to do, then fill your boots, do it. For me and my Instagram it's my journey. It's my way of keeping me accountable. If you want to like my post, like I say, I don't take myself seriously and I tend to do a lot of swearing. Classy. Calling my coach out. If you want to like it, like it. If you don't, don't. No, it's not there for anyone else. Share your highs, share your lows. Don't just keep it all the highs because we know that's not real, and share your struggles. Absolutely. Sure.
I actually haven't posted a lot after Berlin Marathon. I stopped because I was like, I can't be bothered with this.
I get that too.
I can be. Yeah. Before that, I used to post like every run. After I done a run, I did a run. But now I'll just put it on the story. Like I did a run, but I stopped putting it a post on it because I don't care anymore.
Yeah, do you know what? I am kind of getting like that. Like I said, Instagram is a great tool. But I did at the very beginning when I started Instagram, I did care. But I'm not like, I've done a run. Ooh, I've done a run. Yay. I posted earlier about wearing my dry robe, but it was really bloody cold over here. And it is the middle of friggin'. I should not be wearing my dry robe.
I've not seen that yet. No.
Have you not?
No, I've not seen that yet.
Dry robe wanker. Yeah. Again, that's me not taking myself seriously on Instagram.
Yeah, I need to check that and I need to see. I'm going to go look at it after this.
Make sure you give it a like. I'm joking.
Yes, sure, definitely. I'm just looking at what can we talk about. We talked about a different topic than what I thought we would talk. And I think that is more genuine to a lot of people because we talked about something that a lot of people feel and they go through, but they don't expose it.
They don't talk about it. But that's probably my fault, Ash. I'm sorry, because I tend to go off on a tangent.
No. That's fine. When you are running a race and then your leg starts to feel tired and everything is not looking good, you're maybe low at that particular moment in the race. How do you try to, or how do you overcome in that particular situation?
How do you overcome in that particular situation? That is a very good question. So I done a race in the Lake District in September. And it was a hard race. It was 52 kilometres. It was over 1,000 metres, maybe 1,500 metres of elevation. I was up mountains. It was raining. The side winds were coming in. And it was like, if you've ever had like the wind and the rain hitting your face at a real hard, it's like pins on your skin. I was on the top of this mountain and that was happening to me. And I thought to myself, what in the actual beep am I doing here? Just so you don't have to bleep that one out. I just thought, what am I actually doing here? And do you get those low points when you're doing big distances like that and you're climbing mountains and it's just like, why, what am I trying to prove? What am I trying to prove to myself? What am I trying to prove to people? Well, I'm not trying to prove anybody to anything, but it's all for me to prove it to myself. I thought to myself, I could be at home with my kids. Instead, I'm on a mountain and you do have those low points, but it's in those low points where you have to keep going because you don't have the option to turn back because you're kilometers in. So you either finish the last 12 kilometers, you do turn back and go 40 kilometers backwards. There's no other option than to just keep going forward. And that's what you have to do. And it's a case of gritting it, clenching your teeth, telling your mind to just get it done. And actually on that race, it was 5 kilometers from the finish line. And I had rang my coach and I was like, Colin, I can't go on and I can't do it. He says to me, how far are you from the finish line? And I was like, I'm 5 kilometers from the finish line, but I had still got a lot of elevation to go. And he started laughing at me and he goes, you're 5 kilometers from the finish line and you need to shut the fuck up and just finish it. But it's those irrational thoughts, Ash. It's just those thoughts where you're like, I can't. But you can. You absolutely can. And it is a case of just quieting your mind and just gritting and just doing it. One foot in front of the other and just keep chipping away.
And sometimes you may call a coach, sometimes you may call your friend, a close friend, or somebody. Sometimes you just need that one encouraging word too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I believe in you. I think at that moment, that word gives you so much boost that you never thought you had.
Oh, God. Yeah. And well, when I was doing the race that I've just spoke about, one of the marshals, so I was climbing, it's a mountain in the Lake District and it's called Red Screes. Ash, it is like that, vertical. A climb and it's a tough climb. One of the marshals who was looking after the course was on the top of that mountain. And when you see someone that you know, that you have a bit of a connection with, just to see a face that you know, it's a boost as well. It's such a boost, absolutely. And I'm lucky in the respect that through the ultra running community, I have built up friendships. So a lot of people would either marshal the races that I do or run the races that I do. So it's always nice to have those faces either marshalling or you see them out on course and they're telling you you're looking well and you're looking strong. But that's the community that it is. When if I was to see someone, you say, well done or keep going. And even if you don't know that person, let's say, for example, 40 kilometers into your 52 kilometer race and you're passing a person and they're there and they have their head and they're just plugging away, just to even pass that person and say, well done, keep going. Because I've had that where people have just said, you're looking strong, just keep going. That as well. And that's community of people and just telling you to just keep going. So yeah, it's encouraging words. They do help.
Sunday, I saw people struggling and just walking. Throughout my races, I always try to pat them on the back and say, let's go, run with me. Yeah, you don't know, right? You don't know what is happening to their mind. And I wish if I was struggling, people do that to me when I'm running and I'm like, okay, come run with me. And then some kind of run. And then they go before me and I don't care because I'm not like competing against them or it's just me versus me. So I don't mind if somebody's like struggling that, okay, maybe they need a boost. They need to hear something. So if they see me just patting on the back and give my my hand gesture, then if they'll come, then
Exactly.
it's just about helping, like you said, about helping other people. It's about the community, and
It's a
I like the
community.
running community, yeah, because it's so nice. And I met with you are the 13th amazing person I've met from this podcast, the journey and everything, and I've learned so many things. And hearing through your struggles and everything, how you have overcome it, and then finish your race and doing things, and it's like bloody hell. Like people have been through so much in life, and I
Yeah.
can only take inspiration from it.
Yeah.
So and that's why I started this podcast, because I want people, when they hear your stories or the other people's stories, and they're like, bloody hell, they did that, so why can't I do it?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
The goal for the whole podcast is to just build that one fire. We don't have to inspire like everybody who's listening, just one person, right? One
Just
person.
one.
Yeah, one person would be great. So that is the main aim that I have when I
I love
wanted to
that.
do this podcast, was just to give that spark to one person. It
Yeah.
doesn't happen to be more. And just come on, if we can have just one person and get them off their feet and running 5K, 10K, marathon,
Yeah.
ultra marathon, whatever it is, we did our part.
Exactly. We've done a great thing, 100%. And in some respects, with my Instagram now, I know I say my Instagram is for me and that's my journey. But if there is someone that is watching and looks at me and looks at the journey where I've come from, being fatty, I know I joke about it, but coming from that to being able to, if I had have looked, I had have been the Erin looking at the Erin back then, looking at the Erin now, the Erin back then would have been like, what's she smoking? Or, there's no way that I could possibly do that, or that's not for me, compared to the Erin now. Whereas, I mean, Marathon des Sables is one of my goals. It's going to be one of my ultimate goals in the future. That, that's where I kind of want to be going. And even saying that out loud, Marathon des Sables is such an insane ultra marathon that, I don't know if I'll do it. I'm going to try it. I want to find out if I can do it. So that Erin back then compared to this Erin now, if someone is looking at that little journey that I've had over and takes inspiration from it and thinks to themselves, well, hell, if she can do it, why can't I? So, Ash, yes, with your podcast, you've done a great thing, 100%.
That's the hope.
Yeah, 100%.
And hopefully somebody gets inspired, and that's all we want. When I started my running journey, like when I tore my tendon, I had few running friends and they were running marathons then, and I was just doing 5Ks, 10Ks, because I was just new to running, and I was looking to them, and she was in the podcast, Elena, and oh my god, she's like a badass, she's doing marathon when I was just doing 5Ks, right? So it's amazing how people are kicking ass and doing things, and I never get jealous of people when they run and have this incredible time and everything, because good for them,
And good for them.
Yeah, because there is nothing for me. I don't need to be jealous or anything. I can only be inspired that person's journey, determination, and the resilience they have, the time amount they put in, and the struggles and everything. And
exactly,
I think we all can be just happy.
Exactly,
I think that's all we need to be.
Exactly. It's the discipline and the consistency, and like we said, the time and the effort are big things that I respect, because running your 5K or running your 10K, it's hard. Of course it's hard, especially if you're starting out, especially because you could have so many opportunities to stop and think to yourself, nah, I'm not, this is not for me. But it's those thoughts, but pushing through those thoughts and continuing to do it. That's where you get my respect, and that's where, you're a badass. Go and run your 5K, go and run your 10K, bloody do your half marathon. Absolutely. So yeah.
I agree. I think we have the same mindset. I like it.
Completely. I like it. It's a vibe.
Yes. I think we don't are cool.
Yeah.
There is so many questions I wanted to ask you, but I'm trying to pick and choose what can I ask you next. You have done so many ultra marathons. Some has been really great and some has been particularly low in your running career so far. What has been your most challenging ultras and your favorite one?
Ooh. All right. So the one that I done in January, Arc of Attrition, was my most challenging one. Like I say, because I've put so much into it. I have put everything into that one. The course and the terrain as well, and it being in the depths of winter, it's in itself is a challenging anyway. That one would have been my most challenging one. My favourite one, oh God, Ash, how do you choose?
Which one has the best medal? Just kidding.
Well, which one's the best medal? Well, if I had to choose, I'm joking, I can't choose. Two stand out for me. The one that I done last year was 47 miles. It was called the Lap in the Lake District. Got perfect weather. It was a perfect day. My training had went well for it. Everything had just went well. And when I'd come off race, checking my stats, I had come in, I think it was like like the top 20% of runners, so that was great. That was, yeah, for just as well, starting in the ultra running world. I'm taking that and I'm going with it. That one, definitely. The Lake District is a beautiful location anyway. The views were stunning. The weather was amazing. It was great underfoot. So yeah, it was a very tough one, but that one. And then it's Centurion Running, the 100 Hills 50K. It's the one that I've just done in March, and I'd done the same one last year. It's just a fantastic course in such a beautiful setting down in southern England. Yeah, I actually, when you put the questions out, if you have any questions to ask Erin, one of my friends messaged me a question and said,
I'm just looking at that question now.
Did you
There
get
is a
that question?
Yeah, I have that question too.
What question is it?
Which UK nation is best for running in, and why? Is it Wales?
Is it Wales? No, I know he
Why
said
is it
that
Wales?
question.
Yeah.
He's so deep. He is such a dick. No, it wasn't that question. So I am based in Bolton, but I love to travel. The question one of my friends had sent was, why do you pick races so far away? So that was one of the questions. Now, I didn't know if they had sent that question, but that's the question he had sent me. Why do you pick races all over the country? So like I say, I live in Bolton, which is kind of in the northwest of England, but I love to travel. So the race I'd done in January was in Cornwall, which was a 7-hour drive. The race I had done in March was in Reading, which is a 4-hour drive, 4.5-hour drive. I just love, to me, that's part of the fun and part of the adventure is to travel, to go and do these races. It's a weekend away. It's just, and I get to go and see parts. I mean, as you can tell, I'm not English. So I get to go and see beautiful parts of the UK. So yeah, the race, and I digress. And this is why you can't ask me questions because I keep talking. So the race I'd just done, it's called Centurion 100 Hills 50K. And it's a race that I'm going to visit every year. It's just, like I say, it's set in such a beautiful setting. The course is amazing. And yeah, I would highly suggest it. It's a race that sells out because the race company that puts it on, Centurion Running, are just outstanding. They're an amazing race company. And I can't speak highly enough of them. They put on really well marked races. So the race that I'm going to be doing next month is a Centurion race as well. And again, it's
50 miler.
The 50 miler. Yeah. So those are my two favorites.
Do you want to answer his question? There are 2 questions. 3. That was the first question. He asked, which UK nation is best for running in? And the same question is, why is it Wales?
Why is it Wales? That's Dave trying to be funny.
Okay.
Dave is from Wales, you see, and he thinks Wales is best nation in the UK.
Okay, I get it now.
No,
And the other question,
all right.
and the other question he asked was, what advice would you give to a new runner who has limited funds, can't access gyms, buy fitness equipment? What entry-level alternatives are there?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, we all say running is a cheap sport. It's not. But you can absolutely get started. You need a pair of decent trainers, cushion trainers, trail trainers, wherever you want to start, whether it be on the roads or be on the trails. Decent trainers, that's pretty much all you need. You are able to get yourself into it and you have to look at it for yourself and see what you can afford. Yeah, a pair of decent trainers and you can run anywhere, quite frankly. Training, you can do at home. You can do body weight exercises. All you really need is a couple of kettlebells. You could probably pick up cheap on a Facebook marketplace, get them secondhand, and some resistant bands. And I mean, tube's your friend. Get yourself on YouTube and look for strengthening exercises, leg strengthening exercises. And yeah, there's round it. If you want to do it, and you're sure you want to do it, and you're certain you want to do it, and you want to give it your everything, there's ways around it. Absolutely, there's ways around it.
I wanted to do this. There's so many questions, but I think the interesting one would be this rapid fire round.
Okay. Are these your questions? These rapid fire questions?
Fire, yeah.
Okay.
And it's kind of a weird, I don't know.
I like weird.
It's mixed. This will be the questions. First thought, there is like 2, it's pick one or another one. So whatever comes to your mind or whatever you like. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Morning runs or
Morning runs.
mountain or forest trails? Favorite race distance?
Favorite race have to be 50K.
One shoe brand for life?
I mean, I'm going to say Hoka anyway.
Interesting.
I wear Hoka in my trail shoes and my road shoes.
For socks, crew or no sew?
Crew socks.
Tapping or blisters? Pick your poison. These are fun.
These are
both bad. I mean,
both are bad. Yeah. It's like asking hemorrhoids or fungal toenail infection.
Both of them. I know this is going to be like most used emoji while texting about runs. It's probably going to be the swear face.
Swear face with the little thing. If I was an emoji.
Yeah, that going. I assume that would be it. And 2 quotes probably. Hydration vest or handheld?
Hydration.
Best. Techie route or a scenic route?
Scenic route. Yeah.
Music, podcast, or silent while you run?
Music.
Uphill or downhill?
Oh, sorry. No, I mean your podcast and my podcast as well. Just getting that in there.
Uphill or downhill?
Oh my God. Downhill. Full send. Downhill. 100%. Yeah.
Finish strong, start fast.
Finish strong. Finish strong.
Oh, this is interesting. Dream Ultra crew members, dead or alive?
3 Ultra crew members, dead or alive.
Yeah, dream. So you can pick
Dream.
anyone.
Oh, dream. Okay. If I could pick anyone. Okay, I'm picking Harvey Lewis. I am picking Courtney DeWalter. And there is a guy that I follow on Instagram, and he is called, oh my God, I can't remember now, but Glaze is his Instagram handle. He's a firefighter, and I think he's from New York. He has just ran 300 miles, and I think it was a desert. Oh no, do you know what? I'm changing that. So Harvey Lewis, Courtney DeWalter, and the race director from the police.
Okay.
They're my 3 crew members.
Favorite one. Favorite running movie or documentary?
Okay, so this is going to sound terrible. I don't actually watch running documentaries. The last running thing I watched was actually an interview with Laz, who is the race director of the Barkley Marathons. I watched it on YouTube. Other than that, I don't tend to really watch running documentaries much.
One word to describe ultra running.
Really fucking hard. That's 3 words. Hard. Amazing.
Yeah, okay. I think that is it. I'm
the worst person at this game.
I probably ask you 3, 4, 5 questions, but I have 30 questions I wanted to ask. We should do this again. We'll do this again.
We'll do this again, absolutely. And I'll try not to go off on a tangent and answer your
No,
questions.
this was good the way we talked about, and this will give a genuine feeling because this is raw and you cannot reproduce this and it happened in a moment.
Yeah.
But for today, the last question I would ask is running has changed my life because
Running has changed my life because it's taught me that I can do anything that I put my mind to. It's showing me that I can do hard things. It's showing me that I can do things that I don't necessarily want to do. But if I want to achieve what I want to achieve, I have to do what I don't want to do. They say the magic is in the work that goes unseen, and it's in the work that we don't want to do, and that's where the magic happens. So the runs that we don't necessarily want to do, I have to get up tomorrow morning. I have to do a compromised run as part of my training schedule. Do I want to do that compromised run? I mean, not right now at this moment in time. I don't. Well, I want to wake in at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning and pull myself out of bed to get on the treadmill to do my compromised run? Not particularly. Do I want to cross the finish line of a 50-mile race? Absolutely I do. Absolutely I do. Do I want that medal? Yeah, 100% I do. I have to get up tomorrow morning and do that compromised run on the treadmill whilst everybody else in the world is sleeping, except the very, very few people that will be up doing what I'm doing. So running has taught me that I can do things that I don't necessarily want to do, the hard things, if I want to achieve the things that I want to achieve.
I'll be up while you're running, so
yeah.
Oh,
excellent.
6:30.
You're ahead of me.
Yeah, but I usually wake up at 5:30 because at 4 I can sleep, so it just depends when I wake up. But I'm 1 hour ahead of you, but I'll be up.
Excellent. Will you have your run done by then?
No.
Okay.
No. I used to run in the morning, but I learned that all the marathons here in Europe is in afternoon. Stupid. In US, everything was at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. And by the time 9 and 10 you were done. But here it starts at 10 and I feel like I'm not prepared to run in the afternoon, so I have to change my schedule to run now. So I only run in the afternoon because I want to be able to run fast in the afternoon. So although last year I did in the morning, so I don't think that helped me at all.
Okay.
I'm changing my schedule.
Wait until you get into ultra marathon runs then, Ash. Then you'll be getting back into your early morning runs.
Yeah, I'd actually like to run in the morning because being ADHD, so for me, like if I get something done in the morning, then I feel like I accomplished something.
Yeah, of course. That's a massive thing. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I mean, I'm saying that at the moment, I like to phrase it as I'm prioritizing sleep because sleep is a massive thing. So they say in recovery of letting your body recover. So I've been letting myself sleep in. So my running has been done more in the evening, but I much prefer running in the morning because it's done. It's out of the way. And then I can get on with the rest of my day. Come home from work and then hit the gym and get my training done in the gym. So yeah, morning runs. Now I get it, Ash. Morning runs are a thing. Definitely.
Yeah, I like it. And I don't have to worry about it. Once it is done, then finish. Then in the afternoon, something happens. I might be excused, like I don't want to do it. I get lazy, something. But in the morning, it's just done, and I'm like done. Yeah, now I
Exactly.
can do something else. Even if I don't do
Exactly.
anything, then I'm productive.
Yeah, exactly. And it wakens your mind and it wakens your definitely.
It used to be hard, like when I was working, but I was like trying to be sleepy. Then I used to take 30-minute nap always at the lunch break, and that
Yeah.
really helped me.
Yeah. Power naps.
Yeah, I learned that when
Definitely.
I came to Europe that is a thing, because in US you never sleep.
Yeah.
Here I learned how to do it.
I can imagine. Gosh.
Yeah, I mean this was really fun conversation, and I'm very inclined to do it again. And I have so many questions that I ask you. But yeah.
And I'll try not and go off on too much of a tangent. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, I think this was all natural. I kind of like where we went because it went to some directions that probably my questions would not have anticipated. So I think
Okay.
that really captured the moment, and people will like this episode just because the way we talked about the topics that is
Yeah.
generally disregarded, and people don't really want to discuss it. And
Yeah.
we were pretty open and vulnerable about the low point what we
Yeah.
felt in the running, I think, and that will maybe inspire somebody.
Yeah. I hope so. So
Yeah.
definitely.
Thank you so much for taking the time after your work and everything. And I know it is hard with training and home and everything. I really appreciate you taking the time and letting me be the medium to share your story. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on and asking me to come on your podcast. It's been fun.
Yes, it's been fun, and we'll do it again.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Hey everyone, thank you for making it to the end of the podcast. I hope you really enjoy this conversation. I'll see you again next time with another guest. Until then, happy running.